All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video, which is basically going to be more of an update on the impending famine that's right around the corner. Okay, I'm not too sure what I'm going to title this video yet, but that's what it's going to be about. Okay. And of course, this video is going to be partly inspired by an article from End Time Headline. Okay, and this is actually the title of the article that you see on the screen right here. Okay, and the article reads, or the title reads, it says, "Alarm bells are ringing louder over the U.S. food supply." Okay, so we're starting to hear more and more about this quote-unquote famine, okay? And I believe I talked a lot about it last year, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been the year before, but I believe it was last year I talked a lot about the famine that's coming, okay? But, well, no, it may have been the year before, okay? But, be that as it may, okay, we're starting to hear more about it, okay? And what you have to understand, when myself and brothers alike make videos like this, it's not for our health, okay? And when we report on things like the famine, and, you may not see it come right away, okay? But you have to understand that it is coming, and that's according to prophecy, okay? So what I want to do is I actually want to go over this particular article from End Time Headline, okay? Talking about the basically the food supply for America, okay, which basically is going into this famine that's prophesied about in the Bible, okay? So without further ado, let's get into the article, okay? So the article opens up by saying this. It says, "How much more are you spending on food each month compared to 2 or 3 years ago?" It says, "In recent years, our leaders have been flooding the system with money at the same time that global supplies of food have been getting tighter and tighter." Okay, next paragraph. It says, "On the other side of the world, hundreds of millions of people do not have enough food to eat on a regular basis, and children are literally dropping dead from starvation." And, just quick side note, you better believe that that's coming here to America. Okay, people literally dropping dead from starvation. Okay, as we read, I believe, in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Okay, remember it says many are going to die of the famine. And the ones that don't die of the famine, they're going to die by the sword. Okay? But anyway, let's continue. The next paragraph. It says, "Here in the United States, nobody is dropping dead from starvation." Well, not yet. Okay, but it says, "But demand at food banks is absolutely exploding as U.S. households struggle to deal with how oppressively expensive groceries have become." Well, that should be an indicator of famine. Okay, and I believe last year, it was either last year or the year before, I did a video about, how more popular these food banks are becoming. I actually did a video about it. Okay, so now it's coming full circle and you're starting to hear more about it. Okay, because like I said, we don't just make these videos for our health. Okay, when we say these things, you better believe it's coming. Okay, even though it may tarry for the moment. Okay, it's going to come in due time. Okay, but the paragraph ends by saying this. It says, "Unfortunately, things are about to get even worse." You could say that again. You could definitely say that again. Things are about to get even worse very, very quickly. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. So moving forward with the article, it continues by saying this. It says, "Right now, the largest fire in the entire history of Texas continues to rage out of control. And I believe End Time Headline actually put out an article about that not too long ago. Okay. Which again is basically another plague that's having a trickle down effect. Okay. But it says the biggest inferno in Texas history is being fueled by winds and high temperatures as it rages Sunday. It says threatening to incinerate more buildings, cattle, and livelihoods across the Texas Panhandle, while residents sift through ashes of what used to be homes. Okay, that really sounds like plagues to me. Okay, but the next paragraph says this. It says critical fire weather conditions were expected to continue Sunday in the area, with strengthening winds gusting to 50 miles per hour and dry conditions combining to set the stage for rapid wildfire spread, the National Weather Service warned. Okay, so this basically this wildfire has destroyed a lot of buildings, residents, and livestock in Texas. Okay, and then the weather conditions as far as the winds and things of this nature is not making it any better. Okay, but you're going to see a lot more of this types of stuff across America. Okay, this place is about to get hit with plagues. Okay, it's going to happen. Again, we read about this in Revelation, the 18th chapter. Okay, we go over this a lot, but America says, I sit a queen and shall not see sorrow and widowhood and things of this nature. But in the very next verse, you read about the plagues that's going to hit this place. Okay, it's going to happen. Right? So now let's go to the next paragraph. So moving forward, the next paragraph says this. It says the Smokehouse Creek fire has been burning for nearly a week and has torched more than 1 million acres in Texas alone. Wow. It says making it the largest fire on record in the state. It says, and it is only 15% contained. Wow. So most of it is pretty much still going. Okay. Most of it has not been contained yet. Only 15% has been. Okay. It says with each passing hour, even more cattle are being engulfed by the fires. You can't tell me this is not a plague. It's going to have a trickle-down effect on the meat production. Okay? It says nobody knows for sure how many have been killed so far. Most news reports that I have seen say that it is thousands. Thousands of cattle have been killed by this wildfire. Okay? And it goes on to say this. The largest wildfire in Texas history has devastated the state's agriculture, blazing through more than 1 million acres of land in the Panhandle, killing thousands of livestock, destroying crops, and gutting infrastructure. Okay, you see just how one simple plague, a wildfire, can cause so much damage that has so many trickle-down effects. Okay, that's how you know this place is spiritual Egypt. Okay, you're going to see a lot more of this. Okay, this place is circling the drain. And all praises to the Most High Yahweh for that. Okay, this place is long overdue for it. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. So moving forward with the article, and it reads, it says the agriculture industry, a big driver of the state's economy, was already facing pressures from prolonged and widespread drought that forced ranchers to manage smaller herds, contributing to a decrease in beef production nationally. Now, I don't know if you brothers and sisters remember, but I did a video on that. Okay, I did a video about the drought that was basically had a trickle-down effect on the ranchers and their herds. I don't know if you remember, but I did a video about that a while back too. So again, when we make these videos, okay, though what we're saying may tarry, Okay, it's going to come to pass. It's coming full circle. Okay, the subject is being brought back up. Okay, because it's going to have an effect. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. It says the series of wildfires in the Panhandle this week is another blow as many ranchers try to rebuild their herds and operations during the cooler months of the year. Okay, so moving forward, it says what will the final death toll be? It says according to Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller, there are more than 10 million head of livestock in the region. State Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller told the New York Times that the Panhandle is home to roughly 85% of Texas cattle herds. Okay, and this is where that wildfire hit, right? So this is where the majority of the herds are, and they're getting hit by this wildfire. Okay, again, this spells out plague to me. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. So moving forward to the next paragraph, it's going to be the last paragraph at the bottom there. And it reads, it says the region supports over 10 million head of livestock. Most of the cattle are kept in feedlots and dairy farms as farmers and ranchers attempt to shield their herds from the wildfires, Miller said. Okay, let's move forward. So the next paragraph says this. It says there are millions of cattle out there, with some towns comprising more cattle than people, Miller told the Wall Street Journal. Even before this disaster erupted, supplies of beef were really tight. Okay, So let's read the next paragraph here. It says, at this point, the size of the U.S. cattle herd is the smallest since 1951. Now, this should sound familiar, okay, because I did a video here previously. It was a couple of videos ago. And remember, it was a video where I reacted to the Epic Economist video about the famine that's coming. And remember, he said the same thing in his video about the cattle herd being the smallest since 1951. He said the exact same thing. So this is another witness. Okay, again, let you know that this is true. Okay, this is just another sign of an impending famine that's on the way. Okay, but it goes on to say this. It says, and the size of the Canadian cattle herd is the smallest in 30 years. Okay, it says Canada is the next nation to report a multi-decade low cattle herd. Next paragraph. It says at the beginning of the year, the USDA reported the lowest total U.S. head since 1951 at a little more than 87 million. Now, Statistics Canada is reporting the Canadian cattle herd. I got tongue tied. The Canadian cattle herd is at its lowest level in more than 30 years, totaling just 11 million cattle and calves on farms. Okay, so we see it's not just a United States thing, but Canada is feeling it too. And we already know the food problems across the world, on the other side of the world. Okay, so this is going to be a worldwide thing, but America is going to get hit the hardest. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. All right, so the next paragraph says this. It says, and even without the tragedy in Texas, we are already being warned that the United States cattle herd will get even smaller this year because we are looking at the smallest beef calf crop since 1948. 1948. That's a very interesting date. For those who know, you know. But anyway, it says, but the supply of feeder cattle will likely tighten during the rest of this year. The smallest beef calf crop since 1948, brought on by drought and high feed prices, and the contraction of the beef cow herd, along with a significant decrease in replacement beef heifers. Okay? It says means that there won't be as many cattle to put in feedlots to replace those going out. So basically, the cattle, they're not having enough offspring to basically replace the calf that's dying out or being killed for meat. Okay, so that's another problem that's going on here. Okay, so now let's actually move on. Let's go to the next slide so we can read the next paragraph better here. So the next paragraph says this. It says beef is now considered to be a luxury meat, and prices are only going to go higher throughout the remainder of 2024. Allow me to repeat that part, okay, because that's significant. It says beef is now considered to be a luxury meat, and prices are only going to go higher throughout the remainder of 2024. So you can expect beef prices to skyrocket. It's only going to get higher. It's already high as it is, but it's only going to get higher throughout the remainder of this year. Okay? So it goes on to say this. So if you enjoy beef, I would stock up now. Of course, it isn't just beef that is going to become more expensive. Okay, and you better believe that. Okay, it's not just beef, but food and drink in general. Okay, because an impending famine is on the way. Okay, but it goes on to say this. All over the Western world, green policies are making things extremely challenging for farmers and ranchers. During a recent appearance on Fox News, one industry insider warned that more U.S. farmers are going out of business every day, and that spells famine. Okay, more farmers are going out of business every single day. That's crazy. But the article goes on to say this. While nationwide organizations like the FFA are going strong, and statewide affairs like the annual Pennsylvania Farm Show and Iowa State Fair continue to draw exhibitors and guests alike, beneath the surface are troubling signs. It says 2 guests on the Ingram Angle warned this week. Okay, so now let's continue. So the next paragraph says this. It says globalist green policies as well as inflation and rising costs have led to thinner herds and, in some instances, foreclosure or shuttering of farms altogether, bringing with them a potential domestic food crisis. They said, again, you're seeing a trickle-down effect. Okay, the globalists with their quote-unquote green policies as well is causing inflation, which is leading to this, okay, foreclosures on farms and things like that, which is going to lead to a domestic food crisis here in America. Okay, so the next paragraph says this. Farms are going out of business every day, said John Boyd Jr., founder of the Black Farms of America. It says we have already seen farmers engage in wild protests all over Europe, and it is probably just a matter of time before we see similar protests here in the United States. You can bet on it. Okay, because if it's happening in Europe, it's definitely going to happen here, because this place is going to get hit the worst. Okay, but the next paragraph says this. It says, but even if government control freaks left our farms alone, they would still have to deal with weather patterns that have gone completely nuts. Okay, again, plague. Okay, so let's go to the next slide so we can see the next paragraph better here. And the next paragraph says this. It says, for example, this weekend, an absolutely massive, bizarre blizzard dumped up to 12 feet of snow on some parts of California, and wind gusts in some areas actually reached 190 miles per hour. Wow. It says hundreds of miles of California highways remained shut down Sunday as a powerful blizzard pounded parts of the Golden State and Mountain West with snow totals that could reach 12 feet amid howling winds with gusts that hit 190 miles per hour, well above the 157 miles per hour threshold for a Category 5 hurricane. Okay, this is going into the weather pattern that they said is going nuts. Okay, but it goes on to say this. It says National Weather Service meteorologist William Churchill warned of life-threatening concern for residents near Lake Tahoe, calling the storm, now in its third day, an extreme blizzard. Areas of Nevada, Utah, and Colorado were also affected. Okay, so that was actually the end of the article. Okay, in which I'll probably bring this video to a close. Okay, I'm not going to make this too long, right? And again, I still haven't thought of a title for this video. I'll think of one soon, but again, it's going into this article from End Time Headlines. And of course, the title of the article is Alarm Bells Are Ringing Louder Over the U.S. Food Supply. Okay, so again, like I've been saying, there's an impending famine that's right around the corner. Okay, and we're starting to hear a bit more about it. Okay, more people are taking notice as to this famine, and it's basically right around the corner. And of course, this is according to prophecy. Okay, we know according to prophecy, there's going to be a famine of food and drink. Okay, but if you are on the Lord's side, as it says in the book of Isaiah, it says, my servants shall eat. Okay, but those that are on the opposite side, they're going to starve. Okay, so with that, and as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, and I do so by Hashem, which means in the name of Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, whom the world knows as Jesus Christ. And I want to thank all you brothers and sisters for tuning in. I hope this video was informative and edifying. And until next time, Shalom, family.